Satnam, Amma Devi here, offering a general reading. And as always, please explore what feels a fit for you. Let this be a perspective to explore, something to consider, and to support you on your journey. And rather than take away from your inner knowing, enhance it. Getting getting a couple things. They gave me very clearly choose wisely, and it feels like things are shifting. Yes, life is always changing, always evolving. Like nothing is ever constant, but it feels more like what's orbiting in your field, similar to like being at the airport. And well, I've never worked in air traffic control or in an airport. It kind of feels like that, like being in the control panel saying, like, who gets to land, right? What gets to land? Uh, and it's up to you to discern what you allow in your energy field, what you allow to come through for you, to you, or through you for the greater good. And I do feel like there are some downloads coming through and some blessings in order for you. And it really is a matter of which road you choose, left, right, forward. And there's no wrong or right, good or bad. It's more of like, in this moment, this feels appropriate for me. In this moment, based on my knowing and my mindful awareness, I say yes to this and no to that, for example. And with it being on an energetic level as well, orbiting around, perhaps you set a guide or set a boundary with your spirit team to protect you. And they could already be protecting you if you're kind of like really pushing for something that isn't coming through. um it could be divine timing, just kind of preparing everything, kind of like, the dough has to rise in the warm temperature and needed before it goes in the oven, for example. So there could be some divine timing in play. Could also be some divine intervention. You could set one of your team members on your spirit team to do some of the work for you, to kind of be that person, to push I don't know why I keep seeing like hands pushing dials with like a window. So very interesting of what could be landing, um, or what you could be grounding on this planet in this lifetime. So what have you been praying for? What heart work have you been doing? Perhaps clearing, cleansing, healing, for more than just you, but for the greater good of Gaia as a whole. And perhaps you're working towards something that will be coming through, whether it is a connection, whether it is another leveling up in the career sector, in your home life, or whatever it is you've been working towards. What is being rebirthed in your reality? And what do you kind of feel around you? It really does feel like something different than like the veil is thin, but like really crossing timelines, um, crossing through different dimensions simultaneously with the here and now. And can you feel that? Can you sense this? Can you sense this like sense of like a mandala effect? Like everything is happening simultaneously and it's happening beyond planet Earth into different frequencies, into different dimensions. We'd be quite rude and pretentious to think we are the only species here, the only planet with life, and the only galaxy, in my opinion. So, um, consider what's rebirthing for you, who is supporting you in your path, and what are you growing through. So it does feel like this earthly, watery, and like planetary energy. Like it's a very interesting time right now. And perhaps this could be my own awareness, yours as well. But I do feel like things are aligning in your favor as to what you choose. Like you are in the control center. You are in, like, you have the choice. The choice is yours. And I don't know if I said this, but they did tell me very clearly, choose wisely. I was like, oh. So it's up to you overall. Um, So let's take a look at what the cards have to say. Pay attention to the cards, an image, something that stands out to you. Also have dice out for you, and it crossed my mind to roll some dice for you. And then just before I was getting ready to record, they're like, don't forget the dice. And I was like, okay. So we'll do a little bit of numerology, send you off on your way with a little homework. So how does that work? Numerology, to me, it's like a confirmation. Like when you give someone a gift, you don't do it for the thank you. No. Ideally, you're not doing it out of obligation. But the thank you is just like an added bonus. Seeing that sign in synchronicity is this added bonus of you feeling like, yeah, I made the right step, or I'm on the right path. This is a new deck for me, so we'll see. Queen of Wands, know your worth. Bottom deck, Moon, trust what you sense beyond words. So you have, you can put your feelers out there, and you can also kind of hone in. So notice when you kind of put something out there, a request into the universe, and how that lands. Feel how that prayer is received. Feel how your energy is received. I don't know. There's some flowers that open in the morning, right? So there could be this time in the morning that you want to set aside for you to connect to your council. And then you could kind of shut your floodgates through the rest of the day. I guess more of this circle around the petals is just kind of reminding me that you have the opportunity to open up and receive, bubble around, set a boundary, or you can even close up. Again, comes back to the choice is yours. The moon reminds us of cycles change, seasons, if you will, what's being illuminated, and what secrets. It's like reading between the lines, the truth. I'm thinking of a line in the poem, and I know you've heard me reading this. Remember, it's like the whispers in the wind, that kind melody of your heart, the truth that you feel down to your bones. You know the way, your truth, you're feeling your calling. Let's take a look a little deeper. So I don't have a playing card. Oh, yeah, I do. And thank you for this deck. This was a gift. Something might be coming out of nowhere for you. And this is standing out. This sense of spinning around. And if I think about my own experience, whether it is like being on a potter's wheel or hula hooping, this isn't the case currently this last year, but prior to, there's something, or even bicycling, when I used to do a lot of road biking, there's something about that cyclic energy, that circling, and it's different from like the roller coaster ride, right? It's something that brings you into this energy of feeling things out. The Queen of Wands is really keened into intuition and energy. Similar to the High Priestess, it's more of like the Queen of Wands is in the trenches versus the High Priestess is kind of tucked away. For example, it's the best words that are coming to mind here, but what kind of brings you into that space? I'm trying to describe what that is for me personally, but there's something about getting into your rhythm. That's what they want. That's what it is. Get into your rhythm. And the moon also has its rhythm, and that impacts you. The way the planets move have a rhythm. Something about a spiral. So thanks for the timing of these. And I just read a quote. I was reading through a book on lighthouses, and one of the quotes, and forgive me, hopefully I remember to put it in the comments for you in case I kind of get this off, is that it was something about going up this spiral staircase that reminded me of like the Hierophant and the Hermit energy simultaneously. There's going in. With the wand, the Queen of Wands and the moon here, it's like going in and working with. So you're being asked to work with. The Queen works with. There's like like the High Priestess is almost untouchable by her very nature. And by her, I'm, it's my intention is to be gender neutral. I apologize for using the word her. Be mindful of quick communication that confuses you based on your emotions. And so there might be written in the stars someone for you to connect to. Might be something written in the stars for you to grow through. So using a level of emotional intelligence, and that's what the Queen of Chalices has. The Queen of Wands has a sense of psychic intelligence. And so sometimes the emotional pull from past lives and the emotional push that either energy, communication, desire, or a frequency has. Sometimes a frequency can shift you emotionally, or I've experienced that where it's like you feel something, you feel that energetic hit from someone else's energy body, and you're like, whoa, it reminds you of something from your past, perhaps. And it could also lure you in. And when I've thought about some of the times where I've felt someone else's energy, and I won't be too specific about these experiences that had reflected this way, but it was like me kind of going after them, going, what is this about? What's happening? Going direct to source, not source above, but to that person that I thought that energy was attached to. It was kind of like the girl in the scary movie going down to the basement who heard the noise. You know what I mean? Like, come on now. And so there's this sense of discernment of like, okay, spirit team, take care of this for me or help bring me clarity. The night, when I see the Knight of Swords, Jack of Swords, sometimes I think it's time for a boundary. This is coming in very swiftly. I like that we have the red cloak here. When I see red, I think of like sovereignty. Okay, so how is this night specifically charging in? The flowers at the base are standing out. I'm going to go with this. What are you open to and what do you need to cut off? Sometimes cutting is necessary. Divine Scarlet and I do have a few discussions on boundaries online and have a few coming up in January. You can send us an email to be a part of that. Um, oh, okay. So the best way I can describe this is to use myself. But I've seen this in others as well. When boundaries have been crossed early on, okay, so um, you or you haven't been taught to stand up for yourself because boundaries have been crossed, all you know is that quick coping mechanism, right? You know the quick fix, you know that survival instinct that gave you what you need in the moment. And for women, for example, I'm going to speak to myself because I can't sum up all women who've um, been assaulted. You learn to cut off your body, for example, right? Disconnect in that way because that's the only way to survive the experience. When you're not given room to speak up, when your boundaries haven't been respected or your body is not your own, you learn other ways to cut and run, for example. And again, using myself. But as you start to stand your ground and understand your emotions and your energy, there can be some space in between for you to ask your spirit team for guidance to redirect from that pattern response and confusion. Because I find for myself specifically and for others, when I give readings, it's like, we've been here before. We recognize this energy. Do we recognize it because it's where I need to go towards? Or do I recognize it because it's something I need to grow from? And I feel like we're on the precipice of growing from something as a collective. And I think the Knight of Swords is coming in to say, I got you, riding in on the white horse. And it's respectively saying, move on and get clear. When we replant a plant, do we not trim its roots? Well, that also brings me to looking at bonsai trees. They're gorgeous. They're gorgeous. I was just at the Arboretum after taking my daughter to the airport. What was it, last month? Month before last. And there's some just beauty to it. And at the same time, I was like, wow, they've been trained carefully and slowly to remain small. Having your boundaries crossed, being assaulted, being something of the sort, whatever it is, whatever trauma it is for you, and trauma is all relative, whatever situation has been pushing you down, trained you to be small. And it feels like there's a sense of expansion that's coming through right now to say, let's take another look at this. Not as a victim, but rather we're coming through to help you see clearly of what's truly meant for you. And we're going to slowly bring you where you want to grow. So the page asks us to take one step, and the page asks us to feel it out. And that feeling of confusion might pull you back in the past. That illusion of what's healthy might pull you back in the past. And the divine is delivering a newfound awareness to move in a new direction. Rewrite the script of what is joy for you, what you're grateful for, and what you really want to receive growing forward. There is so much more for you. It's your choice to set that intention, to say that prayer, and recalibrate the next steps forward. You're not alone on this next step, and they're going to help you close out the cycle to grow anew. Don't be afraid to speak your piece, to speak up and create that boundary. I want to keep these three out. So on the flip side of this confusion is willing to learn how to take a new step. Inaction is action. Don't take mixed signals as a wait and see. There's a difference between being patient and honoring your worth. And it's okay to disagree. And it's okay to do what's right for you. The wheels are turning in your favor, and I'm going to just keep this out because this specifically keeps standing out in case you see another planet there that it calls to you. Bottom deck as well, they're saying. Who are you? And who do you want to live into or live for? It's time to take the next step for you. There's a quote. I was actually working on a deck this morning, and Jack Kornfield often quotes this. And I don't have it word per word, but it's like, "Oh, nobly one, remember who you are." And when I teach yoga, sometimes I say, like, be regal on your mat. It's more of like be poised, be lifted like a ballerina. And we could go a few different directions with that, but it's more of like lift through your spine, lift with integrity, lift with truth, and sit here on this planet, stand here on this planet, because this is where you deserve to be. You deserve to take up room. You deserve to speak up. You and your purpose in life are the same thing. Your purpose is to be you, not to be for someone else. And if it aligns, beautiful. Belief. The word integrity is coming to mind. Challenge the lies you were told. Challenge what you say to yourself. Challenge what you think is possible for you. What each of us believes is in and up to us, but life is impossible without believing in something. What will you choose to believe in? And the crescent moon is standing out. Thinking of the Cheshire Cat. The Cheshire Cat ran Alice in circles. A little trickster. And he knew what he was doing. Will you believe in you? Will you believe in the intuition? Will you believe in your gifts? Will you trust in the next steps that are delivered for you to take? Will you trust that you're rewriting the script? You trust that not every emotion has to pull you down. Will you trust that not every emotion is yours? There's some discernment there. You might be feeling someone else's vibes. You write the book. Reevaluate. Re-examine all you've been told. Dismiss what insults your soul. I honestly did not read this before I said that last bit. Again, the moon is standing out. We did have the moon card. Cycles. Uh-oh. So I'm going to roll 6 sets of dice, so 2 each, and lay out three sets of cards. The one set, I encourage you to continue your research, because there might be more there for you to receive. The same thing with the numbers. Oh, throwing cards. I feel like things like rolling the dice is their way of saying be a little bit more lighthearted and trust us. Trust us. We got you. All right, the family's home. It's been quiet most of the day. I was hesitant to push record. It's all good. So this is to help you manage your energy and give you a little bit more direction in supporting. Sometimes when you start researching things, it sends you into a direction. So like the term starseed calls out to you. There's a little bit more investigation there. If planetary alignment stands out to you, a little investigation there. Trust what you're feeling out, what you're called to, whether it's a place, a timeline, like a time in history could also be calling out to you. A style might be one way to feel that out. I don't know what's right side up for these. I can't remember. It feels like the next step for you. Something's coming. I really kind of feel like something's shifting. Let me give you a second. What number card pile speaks to you? Change is the only constant, right? So to take this one step forward, we need to get grounded in our presence. 5, change. Feels like Wednesday, right? 4, stability. 1, full card, less than a new beginning. So with this number, pay attention to synchronicities. I noticed it too when like I'm driving. I'm like, ooh, it makes me laugh inside because I'm like, I have trouble with math these days, but I'm behind a license plate, and all of a sudden I'm like, shh, oh, got it. And it's like the number sequence gives me like a paragraph, like I get it, but 2 + 2, what? Making fun of myself, shouldn't do that. Transcendence, change on the horizon. Transcend your mind's limitations and allow your soul's light to truly shine. Mercury, this is about communication. Think, learn, network, and communicate. So opening up might be past the like the cocoon stage here and into opening up. So bringing some freedom and perhaps how you were received in the past is not how you'll be received now. I'm saying that because of the butterfly. Okay. And perhaps there are some people to connect with that will help you create this firm foundation. Be willing to take a step to join that network, to open up, to change, reevaluate. There's a card. Yeah. They want you to reevaluate. We're always evaluating and reevaluating. 6, movement, chariot card. I could be wrong on that. When I think of the 6 of Swords, I think of like chariot energy. It's to me kind of the same. Resistance into momentum. And when we see the 6 of Swords, it kind of feels like something between like a rescue mission or this sad, long, drawn out goodbye, right? Or could be. And it's really just time to say, the change is here, the change is now. I choose. And choose you. Choose you for the greater good. If you're not happy, no one's happy. Consideration, fairness, and harmony. Trust the divine to deliver. When you let go of one thing, something else will be delivered. That you don't have to go after someone. Please don't do spells against someone. Like, say that prayer of forgiveness and move on wholeheartedly. Allow the divine to deliver the greatness. Allow the divine to bring you to what you need. You might want to look up Libra energy. Advancement. So when you let go of one thing, you make room for new. Okay, advancement. A strong energy is propelling you forward. Follow the strings of your heart. It's time. It's time. It felt like there was a mix of messages in there. All right. Free will and divine guidance. 11. Moving towards stability. Strength. You are being guided by the cosmos. Stay strong, and a positive outcome is assured. So trust what you're receiving here, please. Moon. Satisfy emotional needs, nurture self and others. So this might feel a little bit challenging for you. You might be really feeling others, right? And your psychic gifts, like you're transmuting energy through you. And so you could be the stable grounds for change for others just by the energy work that you do. So continue to take care of you. Listen a little deeper. So you're working through your calling, or it works through you. Okay. Overall, the message is to be you, to be proud, and be willing to close out chapters. But it's up to you. Like, you can continue to spin in those cycles, or you can step out of the ring. You could be, I'm seeing a card in, I don't know how far away it is for me. A card in the Zombie Tarot where, you know, those boards where they throw the knives. I don't know like what's behind it in the circus act, but it's like I'm seeing that card. I think that's the Wheel of Fortune. Like, you're going to keep putting yourself in harm's way, or you're going to step out and step into the light and choose something new, regardless of what you can see, but more of what you can sense. Okay. Well, I do hope this served well. Sending lots of light and love. Thank you so much for subscribing, listening, and all you do to raise the consciousness on this planet. Satnam.